The digital signage industry as a whole, but content specifically, which is what I do, is evolving so much around moving from basic slideshow content, basic videos, basic playlists into much more dynamic, data-driven content, relevant content, programmatic content, things that are being driven by applications. And it's very exciting to see that. It's a lot harder to get the content built up front. You're going to work a lot harder on the creation work and the programming work, but then you have a application that's going to automatically update. It's going to automatically show content. It's going to be more relevant to the user. So we really are evolving from basic slideshows and basic kind of PowerPoint digital signage presentations into relevant data-driven applications. It's very exciting to see, and that's what's really been one of the most amazing things to see at the show. You know, everyone has a sense of this movie from 20 years ago almost now, Minority Report, right? And that was supposed to show us the future of retail. And so he goes into the Gap store and it tells him his name. We're not going to do that. No one's going to be supportive of that. You know, so privacy is a concern. Creepy factor is a bigger concern. If you feel creeped out by a digital sign, maybe knowing more about you than it should, you're not going to want to use that. You're not going to want to look at it. We have the same thing with our web browsing, right? Our web browser knows a lot about us. Our mobile devices know a lot about us. They know our buying habits and our preferences and everything else. We won't ever get to that point, I hope, with an out-of-home sign. I really hope that out-of-home sign doesn't know who I am. And if it did start to get to that point, I feel that regulations would come up quickly. And so I hope the industry is smart enough to self-police and understand that you cross that creepy line, your viewers will react very negatively. So we're really excited. We won a bronze award this year. It's actually our 12th Apex award that we've won over the last decade. So excited, and I'm proud of my team. I was sending emails last night. That project was a wayfinder, but slightly different. It's a wayfinder for a apartment complex, condos, where you can come and before you even got a tour, you can see and go through and view your potential new home and browse it and understand it. But more importantly than that, it's very easy for the leasing people and the salespeople in that office to update it themselves. They had been looking at solutions that they would have to actually hire programmers every single time they wanted to make a change. Well, how many times do you make a change to your available apartments? You do. It's every day. It's every month they change. So we were so focused on a solution for them that they could update themselves, but was dynamic and flowing and vibrant for the viewer. All of these projects like this one was a very low budget project. We get a lot of low budget projects with what we do at ALMO. And it's a challenge because we don't have we can't just go to the moon and do all these hours and do all this programming. We have to make a solution that works, that's compelling for the viewer, that's easy to update, and is a low budget project. So fitting all those things together is sometimes a challenge for our team, but in this case we delivered and we won an award. Yeah, I'm basically the creative director, and my role is to see everything through. So I manage our artists, our designers, but our programmers too. And I am an odd creative director in that I get into code. I actually look at the code, I work with our coders, I work with our developers, and help them get through their projects. So that's what it really means to be a digital signage creative director. You have to understand video, you have to understand code, you have to understand graphics, and be able to put it all together. And that's really my job every single day. I come to work very happy every day to be able to do that, very fortunate. We work with AV integrators, right? That's who we work with, is AV integrators, and one of them had a project to do an interactive table to show the timeline of the school. But again, they looked at other solutions that they were not going to be able to update themselves. They looked at other software solutions and other creative agencies that were going to give them something that, again, next year they want to add more things to their timeline. They've got to go back and go to that programmer, and they challenged us to do the same thing. How do we make this easy to update? How can we update this ourselves? Next year we want to add 4 or 5 new entries to our timeline. We have great new things that happen this year. That's what that solution was for them, is that they could update that themselves. Yeah, that project is a museum exhibit. It's a small one, but it's on board the old Queen Mary ship in Long Beach, right? So the original Queen Mary 1 was turned into a museum and a hotel and docked permanently in Long Beach, which is where our offices are. They've been a wonderful client. We've done so many different projects with them, and last year they asked us to help them with the Winston Churchill exhibit. And it was the sets from the recent movie, The Darkest Hour. They bought all those sets, because what essentially they had done is they had rebuilt these sets of the Winston Churchill war rooms for the movie. They bought those, they brought them over here, they rebuilt the war rooms of Winston Churchill's war rooms. They rebuilt them on board the Queen Mary using those sets. So it was really amazing. So we had to add a lot of AV to it. Some of the AV was fun. It was holographic AV we were doing. There was projected AV of seeing Winston Churchill walking by a hallway, those types of things. But in addition to that, there was straight museum learning, right? What happened? Why were these war rooms so important? What took place in these rooms? Now, of course they were the sets, right? They weren't the real rooms. The real rooms are in London. But if you want to go see these sets from the movie and really get an experience of the Churchill war rooms, you can do that on board the Queen Mary in Long Beach. You know, the biggest trend that I see this year is the analytics, the programmatic content, dynamic content that is changing based on the viewer. And that is the future of this industry, and it's been talked about for years. Things evolve slowly with digital signage, somewhat strangely slowly, but we are evolving, we're getting into this, and this is happening a lot more rapidly than other advancements that we've seen. And it truly is that if you can deliver a more relevant message to the viewer, you're going to get better ROI. You're going to have a better experience for everybody. As long as you don't cross that creepy line, you're going to have a much better experience for everyone. The viewer is going to be more engaged with your content and maybe will do what you want them to, right? Make that purchase, or come to, if it's corporate communication, come to that meeting on Friday. Whatever your goals are of that signage, if you can be more relevant, you can achieve your goals. And so to have hardware, software, technology solutions that are driving relevancy, that's new for our industry. In the past, it was, we're going to make a bunch of graphics and a bunch of videos, we're going to schedule them, we're going to guess, we're going to hope and pray that we got the right person at the right time. Now we're going to have cameras, we're going to have technology, we're going to have code, we're going to have all of this that says, I don't have to do that anymore. I can detect that this guy walked by. I can detect that that lady walked by. I can detect that who is looking at the screen and deliver a message that is relevant to that right time and place. For us to do that as an industry and do it in the right way, this show will change around that technology. DSE, I've been exhibiting at DSE in one form or another, I can't remember, 2010 or 2011. It is a tremendous show for delivering everyone focused on specifics of digital signage. We can go to other shows and you're seeing a lot of AV and we do, and you know, we see all these other things, but nothing is it about digital signage. But digital signage isn't about technology, it's about the communication message. All of this software, all of these screens, no one is buying them unless you're trying to solve a communication goal. That's what this show is about, and that's what the people who come through here. When you go to other technology shows, you just have a bunch of technologists who maybe are building conference rooms or building, you know, outdoor experiences, whatever. They're not doing this. And so to be so focused and to have the people coming into this show who are looking specifically for digital signage is great for all these exhibitors. It really gives you a value here that you don't get if you just go to regular AV shows.